So you know how there are when you give advice and guidance and share certain concept with other people, it is so intuitive and easy at times because it just makes sense. However, when it's flipped onto yourself and when you are in that situation, everything feels like it's frozen. Everything becomes so challenging and so difficult to move forward, to lean into. That is just what I am currently experiencing, and what I feel is so natural. It's not that we're hypocrites. It's not that we are, not willing to take our own advice. It's not that we're just lip servicing. It is just pure human nature that when we are not in the center of whatever it is, the things that you are working through, we're just removed. That's it. And when it's us, when the situation is reversed and we are actually in the middle of something like that, it's just harder. Okay? So today I just want to speak to this idea, this concept on being patient with patience. Let that sink in. Hello, beautiful people. My name is Susie, and this is In the Pocket with Susie. This is a tiny little space on the internet where you could come in for a little bit of support. This is also a space where we dig a little bit deeper in who we are so that we can show up in the world in a better place. And today we're talking about patience, being patient with patience. Tongue twister. But before we get into it, let's really, explore this concept a little bit on where we live in today's world. We live in a world that it's all about speed. It's all about efficiency and getting results right now, instant gratification, right? We are so used to being accessible to anything and everything at the same time that there is little time and little space, little effort, little practice on being with patience, right? We just have very little practice in our day-to-day, that it is so natural for that practice to disappear and for our patience on being in this space of unknowingness, being in this space of waiting. We forget about that. And when we forget about it, we cease to see that the process and the unfolding, and that there is this beauty in the unfolding, in the allowing, in the letting be, right? For me, my experience was that in this week, I've been working through certain things that I haven't been accepting. No, let me rephrase that. So there are certain things in my life that I don't like. I don't like certain things that's happening in my life, and I cannot change that. So therefore, I understand that I cannot change that, and I recognize I don't like that I can't change that, and I am letting go and practicing that I cannot change that, and I cannot rush the process of me not liking it. I am working through the process of accepting that as just a thing that I don't like, a thing in my life that I cannot change. So in being with this, knowing that I can't change it, and knowing that I am moving on from it. In the past couple of weeks, I realized that I am adding another layer of frustration on top of this. And this layer of judgment, and that, I'm still not over this. I'm still thinking about this thing. I still haven't gone over it. And what I realized this morning is that this is in the essence of me trying to rush this process of acceptance, trying to rush this process that it has to go through, I have to go through, in order to accept something that I don't like and be with something that I don't like. Just because I understand that I don't like it and I am working on the process of being with it, doesn't mean it's instant that this can happen. Just because I accepted that, just because I understand the concept. The actual process of my system, my all, my beingness, still have to go through whatever it has to go through. I don't know it. It's not just, conscious. And sometimes you can say it's a decision. I am over it. I don't like it. I accept it. I know that I can't change it, and I move on. Sometimes you can do that. And there is very, strong power in declaring that, choosing that. And then other times, there's still everything else in your system, in your past, in your habits, that just takes time. So the actual practice of that is being patient. I acknowledge that I have to be patient with being patient for this to process through in my system. Now I have to be practicing patience on being patient. Is that too meta? Okay, let's give a more of a lighthearted, general, easy to understand concept. Let's say you are, maybe you are in a garden and you're planting, you want to have this beautiful flower, and you have just now seed. Now what do you have to do with the seed? You have to dig up a hole, put in the seed, you have to water the seed, and now you have to be practicing patience. You do the things that, what are you doing? You water the plant, you allow the sun to shine on it, you allow the rain to fall, you wait for the root to take place, and then slowly, and all these things are happening slowly in its own time, that bud will come through, and eventually that will lead to this beautiful flower. And that is the result of the process of the waiting and the unfolding. Once the seed have to do what it has to do, it will get to the flower part. But you can't rush this process. I can't add any more water so that it grows faster. I can't shine more, not that I have the power, but you can't, no more sun can help it to grow faster. No more rain can help it grow richer. So in the same way that whatever it is that you are going through, you can understand the concept, you can accept the thing, you can understand that you can't change anything, you can see and recognize you don't like it, and you can be okay with that. yet. And you still just have to be patient until it no longer bothers you. So, what that means in practice is when this thing arises again, anything, the things that you want to change, you understand it already, you recognize that it's coming up, and you recognize and you can still see that you don't like it. You still don't like it. You still have emotional charge about it. Right? Okay. Yeah. I see that it's still there. I still see that I'm charged by it. Okay. Let it go. Hold yourself on both parts. And recognizing that you're not over it without judging that you are not over it. And just let that be. As of right now, that's what I see, the practice. That's it. Being patient with yourself. And acknowledge that you can both see that it's still there and you still don't like it. Just recognize it. Just allow those unwillingness to be. And keep practicing it whenever it comes up. Recognize it and see where it is. Eventually, when it's done doing its thing, you'll wake up one day and like, no, it doesn't bother me anymore. But have no expectation that it will take, a month, a year, 10 years. Just that. So I hope that makes sense. If it did, please share. Because certain things in my head, it makes a lot of sense. But once it's spoken out in the world, maybe not so. So I will hope to hear from you. So that's it for today. My name again is Susie, S-U-Z-I-I, 2 eyes, because I believe the I in me sees the I in you. See you next time.